All fossil fuels contain sulfur as an impurity. Sulfur is a yellow solid. It's the 9th most abundant element in the human body. The average adult has got about 140 grams of sulfur in their body. Most of that sulfur is in our proteins. Small quantities of sulfur is in our proteins. And just as sulfur is in our bodies, sulfur was in the structures of the tiny sea creatures which made crude oil millions and millions of years ago, and in the proteins that were in the swampy forests, which died and were eventually, over millions of years, compacted under great pressure and temperature and became coal. So all fossil fuels contain sulfur. We've seen already how the carbon in fossil fuels becomes carbon dioxide, and the hydrogen in fossil fuels becomes water. This reaction you'll see today shows what happens to sulfur. When it burns, the sulfur is there as the impurity in the fossil fuels. But today we will burn pure sulfur. I'm hoping you could see the sulfur burns with a very, very small blue flame after it has melted. It is now filling the gas jar here with a cloudy white fume. That is sulfur dioxide gas. I've had to do it in the fume cupboard because it's a very nasty gas and would affect my breathing in the lab. We're now going to show you what happens when the sulfur dioxide gas reacts with water. This water has universal indicator added to it. It should be quite clear to you that the neutral water, that was the green colour with the universal indicator, instantly turned to this red acidic colour. Sulfur dioxide is an acidic gas. When it's produced when we burn fossil fuels, it makes sulfur dioxide. The sulfur dioxide goes into the atmosphere and dissolves in rain, and it falls as acid rain. Now, thankfully, the acid rain from burning sulfur is a weak acid. It's not a very, very strong acid, but it's strong enough to make us suffer from acid rain. As a result of this problem, the oil companies are all forced to cut down the amount of sulfur in their fossil fuels, in their petrol and in their diesel. Next time you go to the petrol filling station, have a look at the pump. You will see it says ULSP, Ultra Low Sulfur Petrol. They remove as much of the sulfur as they're able to at the oil refinery to cut down on the sulfur dioxide gas pollution.